Hello and welcome to the show today. I'm Jeff Snyder, Vice President, Senior Consultant with Cammack Retirement Group. And joining me now is Representative Tobias from the state of Oregon. He's a candidate for State Treasurer. Tobias, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
I think, Oregon, we have read in the media and reported on this show about coverage for participants, people not covered by retirement plans. And Oregon is really one of the first states to take the initiative in providing coverage. I'm wondering if you could share your perspective about the Oregon Retirement Savings Plan, kind of how that idea came about and what you're looking to accomplish with the program.
Well, it's my pleasure, and thanks for letting us talk about our state. We're really proud of it. We're really excited about what's happening in Oregon. It starts really from the recognition that nearly half of people in Oregon don't have access to a retirement savings plan at work. And we all know that when people have that access, the chances that they'll participate at some level are more than 15 times if they have to go out and find that opportunity on their own. So that's important for individuals in Oregon, but it's also important for everyone in Oregon because of the impact on the state budget when people don't have an opportunity to save for retirement. So it's a part of a broad coalition that came together to build this legislation. I was proud to be part of it, and we passed it in the 2015 legislative session. What it really did was create a board with the authority and the resources to pursue the implementation of an opt-out, essentially IRA plan, and that's the work that we're now engaged in. And it's set to go live July 1st next year in 2017, and we're really excited about giving people the chance to take control of their own financial future.
And we've talked on the show about the importance of saving and planning for retirement, and I think we agree that people aren't doing enough of that. We were talking earlier in the green room about myopia or present bias. People are thinking about today, they're not thinking about tomorrow. This provides an opportunity for people to think about tomorrow and also provide an opportunity to save if they don't have one. And I think that's exciting. Oregon is really leading the nation. I mean, I know Illinois has passed a piece of legislation, but they're not as far along as you all are. And now you're in the implementation stage. How do you see that kind of playing out?
Well, I want to make sure we give credit to the folks in Illinois and California. We learned a lot from their experiences, and we talk to them regularly. And I think all of us who are committed to this sort of work are in it together. Someone has to go first. We didn't go first in that sense, and I think it has accrued to our benefit in the sense that we've learned from those experiences. But it's a really challenging and aggressive kind of schedule to get these things right. And we're fortunate to have an Oregonian at the helm of that group who has tremendous experience, Lisa Messina, who was doing all kinds of stuff in the big financial world before she came home to Oregon to help us do this, and a really excellent board who's asking the right questions. One of the things I think was great about the legislation is that we put as much specificity into it as we could, while at the same time recognizing that there were going to be questions that we couldn't anticipate in the legislature, and as a result we tried to give the board the flexibility to go in the right ways, and that's the kind of thing that we're now doing. Just this week, in fact, the board approved the major components of what the plan will look like. Now we'll go out and try to validate that before we go to an RFP and figure out who's going to help us deliver this plan. There's lots of interesting details, lots of interesting challenges about auto escalation features, about how to implement that, about how to make it as low a burden as possible for employers, while at the same time making it as smooth and pleasant an experience as possible for employees.
And really, it's all about the employees. It's that experience,
yes.
Making sure that people have the opportunity and are clearly educated about what decisions they need to make, including investment decisions and whatnot. You're in the implementation phase. You're thinking, or at least you're beginning that, yeah. And you're thinking about all the components. You were talking about some of the components. You've got the need for a record keeper, right. Someone to partner with to deliver services, track the accounts, investments. I mean, that has got to be front and center in your mind and the mind of your board and committee,
yes.
And your project manager about in terms of implementation.
Yeah, it certainly is, and making sure that we're making those kinds of smart decisions that's going to put the plan on a solid footing and move it very quickly to solvency. There are startup costs, and we've got to make sure that we're doing that in a way that puts the state and the plan on solid ground. We have a history of this in Oregon, the way we financed the beginning of our 529 college savings plan, which is helpful because we can point to that when we're conversing with the legislature about how we're going to finance that. We're looking for the right kind of a setup with a good partner and a good finance plan and a good implementation plan. But I think people are really committed to it and excited about it. And frankly, one of our challenges will probably be being patient enough to do it in a way that doesn't try to bite off too much initially.
Shifting gears slightly, you're running for state treasurer. This is unique. We don't normally have this type of conversation on our show, but interested in the how that came about and the process. I mean, you're in the throes of the primary, or you're past the primary, and now you're in the general. I'm wondering if you could talk about your candidacy and the process you went through.
Thanks. So it's my pleasure. I'm really excited about it. And the state treasurer is one of those jobs that I think is often overlooked and misunderstood. People in Oregon, I think, tend sometimes to think that the state treasurer is someone sitting in a basement somewhere with a green eye shade and a ledger book and an adding machine or something. But it's much bigger than that, as you know. This retirement conversation is a good example of the kind of thing that the state treasurer can do in helping think about the long run future of the state. And that's really what motivated me to run for the legislature initially, and what motivates me to run for state treasurer, to try to think and act more in the interests of our long run future. And I think there's so many places where the treasurer sits at that intersection of policy and finance, and has opportunities to demonstrate that our values and aspirations as Oregonians actually align well with our fiduciary obligations when we're able to think long run. So a lot of our effort is in making that kind of conversation real for Oregonians. It's a crowded ballot. People are obviously very interested in who's going to be the next president, and in Oregon we have a special gubernatorial election and a lot of other things. So our effort is reminding people that the state treasurer is an important office, and that we have ideas that we think resonate with people. So we're excited about it.
And we've had that experience working in other states. As an organization, we've worked with other treasurers, and I think we would agree that so much around retirement security is important, and an important aspect of being a state treasurer. So I think it's exciting. You're doing so much great work in terms of the savings plan, the new savings plan, but also helping with the budget and all the other components. So best of luck to you during your general election.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tobias Reed, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.